What's going on YouTube? We're gonna look at cars. I got Auto Worlds. I think that's all I got. Well, we got a couple of Hot Wheels too. Well, holidays are coming up real soon. I wanted to get out a video or episode because I'll probably have more cars to share after old Santa comes. So hope everybody's doing well towards the end of this year. Hope everybody had a good year so far. But some Celicas, and I was able to fill in a hole in the collection on these Celicas. Mr. Blue Vet 77 on Instagram reached out and was so kind to extend a couple of cars my way. Worked out a good deal on them. Fortunately, I didn't have anything to send back to him that he wanted, but hopefully that changes in the future. And here we go. So we're going to take a look at some vehicles. But first, a couple of really cool Hot Wheel cars. I think I did a couple premiums last time. I'm going to do another couple. I get a lot more than this, but I like to share these. These are the ones I opened and really enjoyed. So one of the first ones was this. This is actually hard to find. This is, I think, Gabriel Iglesias' car. It's one of his vans. He's a VW guy, I guess. Seen some of his vehicles that he shared online. This is one of them. I think this is one of those 10, 15 window type situation buses. Kind of hard to find in the States in good condition with all these windows, but here it is. This is a really cool casting. Hot Wheels has done the VW vans many, many times, but this is the first window bus that they've done and such. It is a new casting. The Samba Bus. It's got the Porsche wheels on it. It's got a little wobble. It's funny, some of the premium auto or premium Hot Wheels, some of them the wheels have been cast goofy-ish or whatever. But yeah, so I went through these, took the rubbers off, and sanded them a little bit. They actually were kind of, I don't know if it's from the hub. I doubt it's from the hub being out of round where that's drilled. It's really the end. And the tires are thin, so it'll accentuate any issues with the wheels underneath. Has the open windows and the two-tone. Really cool. Super cool. It's got the bumpers. They're not hollow, but they're metal. So bus is really cool. And we also found the Datsun 620. So we found this old girl. This is kind of cool. I don't know if we looked at this last time on film, but here it is again. And Porsche. So I beat the scalpers. This car got a lot of traction online when it was released, so I could see why everybody's trying to hoard them. I was able to find one, so I got it. It's actually a really cool casting. I'm not a heavy-duty Porsche person, but it was cool to see this. And this might make me get the mini GT version of this. They're actually not that crazy price on right now, so this is definitely larger than 1/64 scale. But it's a cool casting. It rolls awesome. These wheels, the Hot Wheels wheels that these make, they're usually very true. Some of the thinner wheels, lower or smaller diameter wheels, they seem to be having issues. That's the way they roll. But this one's a really cool casting, so I'm glad I got this as well. Hopefully we'll get the Mini GT soon. All right, next. This is a car that I found on the pegs. Had a lot of casting fluid on it. It's like, it really feels like air tool oil, if you know that kind of thin mineral oil situation. So this car was covered in it, and it had, the wheels and tires are kind of like the Challengers and the Chargers, where they're decent, but they don't sit in the body right. So I took the wheels off. Here's one I have set up on an axle right now. I'll just show you. In the back, ride height's a little high. I actually came across the blue one today, but I didn't get it yet. I feel like I'll be able to have another chance at this. Sits up a little high, so how we have to address that is we'll have to lower this a little bit in there. Probably a drill bit or file. Depends on how much I want to work on this. It has really nice paint, atomic orange, the car was like just caked in the oil residue. So I hadn't run it through the sink. Put a little dish soap on there, sink, rinse it off. It usually gets rid of all that residue. But I haven't done anything yet with this car. First C7 casting from Auto World. So Z06 car supercharged. The C6 Corvettes, just bigger displacement. They weren't supercharged, but these cars are supercharged. They have a Valley supercharger on the car. It's really cool that they're able to make I think it's a 60 or 90 degree block. Anyway, small block Chevrolet, push rod, fit low. And so it's really just how they design the intake system on this car, and where they do the dry sump on this vehicle, so you're able to lower the motor and the chassis. And they kind of moved it back as far as they could and make the pedal box still comfortable and having a rear-wheel drive front engine. This is probably the best it's ever been before the transition to the C8. Car's amazing, handles good. Real traditional vet, get a nice stick shift in the car. The roof comes off. You can also get a convertible in this body style, but not the Z06. Z06 had a little bit different chassis setup, and it wasn't able to do a convertible, I don't think. I can't remember. Also, it's got the Lexan, the clear spoiler style. It could be polycarbonate, whatever. But when you put it in reverse, you'll be able to look out the back window through this piece. It's also adjustable. Quad exhaust tips. Usually these cars, I think they had the dual mode exhaust. So you could have the quiet and loud versions of the exhaust system. Here's your transaxle, which makes the weight distribution on a Corvette so good, even though it's a front engine car. You have your differential transmission, torque tube, and then here's your motor. And you can see how far back the motor is. There's flex plates right there, and there's your front suspension. So majority of the motor's back behind that front axle. As you can see, basically there's like 20 or 10, 15% of the motors hanging above that where your accessories are. So just a great design. Car's awesome. It's roomy. Now my preference has still been C6 cars. I do like the C6 Corvette. I think that's my favorite to drive. It's a good street car. A little bit easier on the wallet with the wheel and tire setup and brakes. A little bit less spendy on all that. Normally aspirated carport injection, so C6 is a little bit more my flavor. But that's just my personal preference. The wheels and tires were covered with a lot of grease as well. I was experimenting with some different tires. I actually found out that the drag radials that come on the Challengers fit really nicely. So if we take advantage of that big wheel spacing on this car, on the rear wheels. So if we just do this, we can see that the drag radial fills out that elevated back a little bit better. It still needs to come down a little bit, but I think I might go with this setup because this car is a rear wheel drive. And if we want to track the car, at least straight line, be nice to have these little drag radials. So I think I might do the setup on that. I think that'll look pretty good. I'm looking forward to more of these castings, but like the C8, I'm sure we'll be able to find the C7 pretty quickly, even though it's a new casting. The Celica is going to be more difficult, but we have a rounded out collection finally. So let's move on to the minivans. And I apologize for not having all the wheels on there, but people at that channel know that these cars come apart. Not all of them are going to be just for display. All right. So what is this called? Sebring orange. And then we're going to look at the other few cars as well. Let's take a look. All right, the two vans. So I just found the red one today, so it kind of pushed me over the edge into making the video. So we got the Dodge Caravan. It's not a Grand Caravan. This is a 86, right? Yeah, 85. So I think this is a year or two before they offered the long wheelbase along with the short. And then, of course, it talks about some of the seating arrangements on this vehicle. I can't remember when they started doing the extended van. I think it's when the lights got flush. So 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder on these vans. So, and then the other one's the white. The white is the version A. And this one comes with the black Celica. So it's cool finding the Auto Worlds, finally. And I've looked at these vans before. I was able to get the white hood open. I haven't played with the red hood. It's a little tight. I think these are just the 4s with the turbos in here, if I remember from the last casting. Let's see if there's anything different. Oh, let's see this one stay open. All right, there we go. What do we got here? It looks like the 4 cylinders in there with the turbo. Pretty sure. I'm looking at my screen. So still great detail for a $5, $6, $7 car wherever you buy these. You know, some people mark them up more than others. The internet seems to be the worst. You know, they're starting to ask $8, $9 for these cars now, brand new. And Walmart, they're still about $5.50 if you are so lucky to find them there. It's been a little bit better since they've started making the cars in 3 or the 4 car sets. Starting up with the 5 and 6, they used to always do that with the 2 version A and B. This set has gone back to the A and B instead of them all at once. So I saw these first, and then I just saw this recently. This one's got the 2-tone. It's with black. A lot of these fans are like the red and then the darker red with a stripe, but this one kind of has the black bottom. Most vehicles like this in the 80s, you know, unfortunately just were kind of used and abused, gone away. A lot of these things were just rusted and rotted. There's a few of these that people had low miles that you see online every so often for sale. So the fact that they made so many of them helped. And but the first gen car is very difficult. Very, very difficult. Just like the second and third gen vans. But yeah, there's a piece of history. And this one's got like that maroonish tan interior. And this one's got the old school, that Chrysler gray that they had. This wheel's cocked, so it looks like he needs an alignment. But they do that corporate Chrysler wheel very, very, very well. So it just looks very familiar in there. Driven plenty of these things. I'm sure a lot of you watching have driven these vans as well. The 6-cylinders seem to become more available and common once the vans got the bigger wheelbase. You know, they didn't use the short wheelbase forever. It kind of lasted for a little bit. And then when that 3rd, 4th generation van came, they had it as well. I remember there being 2 bodies, but then they started doing 1 body only. And, I mean, I understand why. There's the red van. So, cool stuff. Alright, so put these over here. Now, let's look at this. So I was able to find the pace car recently. So we got the pace car. Well, actually, the pace car I found today, I was thinking a second. But the pace car and the first release of these cars came from my buddy on Instagram. So we can tag him below, I guess. It'll be in the description. So I was able to find this Long Beach car, which California, I believe. Long Beach Grand Prix. Super cool. Really, really cool. Livery. Let's see if the hood opens on this. I can't remember if I opened the white one up or not. So yeah, I was corrected. Last time I looked at the Celica, the black one, a 6-cylinder was available. So sweet car, and I believe that is a 6 in there. Now that I'm looking at it, it's very, very big. Rear-wheel drive car, automatic and stick shift. I believe it's 5-speed. This is what is this car? An 83. I think 83 they had a fuel injection. Pretty sure. On the 6. Super cool car, huh? Chrome wheels. Now, let's look at the other one. Finally, we were able to find these. You know, again, I kind of lamented last time I couldn't get these cars, and they were pulled from the shelves. Now, there's a lot of speculation. There's a lot of stuff written online on the blogs and the forums about this particular Auto World release. You know, the other thing I'd like to find is the Rams. Yeah, they sort of are going to re-release all these cars, really. That new set that's coming out is going to have the 73 and 64 cars. The Kingswood Estate, that color kind of got released. These 21 Rams, the Bighorns, they were not so far. Basically, they've had some hobby exclusive releases where they have some weird company liveries, and they also had the Power Rams or the Power Wagon ones, or the Rebels or whatever they were. But they don't have those plain Dodges, so hopefully they do it again. And I like to find them. But supposedly they were pulled from the shelves for toxic characteristics. Did they make people sick? I have no idea. That's what they say. Someone, I guess, has written to Autoworld, but it was kind of in a forum post where they kind of directly asked them, what's the deal with these cars, and they're like, they didn't really say anything. They just confirmed that they were pulled from the shelves. They were recalled. But it wasn't, I guess if you look the car up on the recall government website, they're not listed, so who knows? Maybe it was more of a quality control thing. Now, I haven't handled these cars that much. It kind of just has me second guessing what could be wrong with them. I understand toxic chemicals used in the painting process, but it's it's a finish that's kind of hard. I don't know. I mean, I guess I could run these through and wash them, but I guess there's people getting sick from it. But these have definitely, you can't find them anymore. They used to be able to be found on eBay for a little bit, for a while actually, and they finally got sold off. But never saw them on the shelves. They did hit the shelves for like maybe a few days, and they got immediately pulled. So whoever found that first case, which my luck, I usually have to wait for the second or third time they put out a case. So I usually find the vehicle. So they're usually the first nowadays. Used to be able to be more common, but too much competition. So anyway, old Blue Vet hooked me up, and I'm glad I have them. I'm touching them. I haven't really. I mean, I've had them for a week or two, and I haven't noticed any symptoms. But anybody that wants to chime in on the situation, let me know what's going on, what you think about whatever the speculation is. I don't see that they're toxic, but maybe if someone like put them in their mouth or something, who knows? I tell you this, through all my jobs in the past, I'm sure I've touched a lot worse stuff than these two things. So I think we'll be all right. One of the reasons I really like this set or this release was the colors. I mean, they look amazing. It's one of the better colors. They really tuned into the time period. These are 82 Celica Supras. They're not 83s, but they have the aluminum wheel painted. They're not chrome, which I don't even think this wheel style from Toyota ever came chrome. Maybe aftermarket, who knows? But I've always seen them painted aluminum. And then that dark kind of brownish, and then that blue with the blue interior. Just a perfect color combination. Also, this round was a little bit better on the quality control from the ones I've seen online and the ones I've got in person. There's not a lot of issue with the spoiler attachment. There's none of that cutting fluid residue. The wheels, again, they're not chromed. The tires roll a little bit better. Tampo works a little bit cleaner. When you look at this and the black one, the way the spoiler was put on, there's a little bit more flashing. There's a little bit more glue residue. The way the car was painted, a little bit thicker. Same thing with this one. Let's put this down a little bit. Yeah, just more flashing around here. When you look at this application, super clean, and the levelness of it's a lot better. These seem to be tilted down slightly. If you look at these, which I know is not correct. I think it's more like this. So I just feel like it's a little bit better put together vehicle. Black painted bases where these are left bare metal, which I like them both ways from Autoworld. This seems a little bit more authentic as like a die-cast car tradition where it's unpainted base. But when you have the base painted, it does give it a little bit more premium feel because the background and the wheels, it's all black. So it gives it a little bit more of a feel. When it's metal, it looks more toyish. Subtle, but it makes a big difference. So this would all been that soft rubber plastic bumpers that used to get real chalky. And then this too was that kind of touch to that too when you look at the real car. Same with this area here. So yeah, remember these cars very vividly. They're really cool. So I'm glad I have them. Again, I haven't died or noticed my fingers falling off yet from these cars, so who knows. I hope to find the Dodge trucks. Again, I'd like to hear somebody's opinion on it. You know, I've just kind of read some stuff. It just seems so crazy, having a car being recalled. But I guess, hey, you know, maybe someone's like, hey, throw them out. Someone's going to be in the comments. I work at All World. You're going to die. So hopefully that doesn't happen. But we looked at, you know, a few auto rolls today, and hopefully more diecast to come. We are finding things, but it's been a little slow. Been getting the Hot Wheels cars, the ones I like. And there's some actually good Matchbox too. But these Celicas, what a car! And then now we can put the whole lineup. So now we can at least have all the Celicas right now, except for the Japan Classic show, that special car I did, which I showed a guy, it was like 10-15 bucks. Now it's like 100 or 50 bucks or what the hell. So maybe we'll see one of those soon. Oh, and another car, a bonus car. That's how nice this guy was. He sent me this hobby exclusive, which I didn't take out of the case yet because I think it's kind of cool. It's one of the few auto rolls left that still number the production sequence. Kind of like my auto roll special Silverado lifted K10. This car probably stay in package 2 and go into the collection like this. So thank you very much. That was very cool. The Nissan Z. And it's got the kind of the lineup of all the Generation Zs. So, you know, I see very, very few of these cars in real life. I don't know who's buying them. Usually every new sports car that comes out, you'll see a couple of them on the road. In my area, I hardly ever see the new Z ever. In fact, the older Zs, I barely see those anymore. You see them all the time. So if anybody wants to pipe up about what you think about that Z car, let me know. I think it'd be a fun car, even though it's kind of basically old architecture that they built it on. New motor, though, or newish. Okay. More to come. Hope everybody's doing well. Thanks for watching. Till next time.